Hi, I'm Sifu Parrella from Master Parrella's Kung Fu Centers. This is Mr. Patrick Reilly. Today we're going to demonstrate Kung Fu hook punches. Now, in Kung Fu we call the hook punch, or in a Choy Lay Fut style, we call the hook punch gok choy. Alright, gok means a horn. So it's like the bull has two horns like this. So that's where our horn punch comes from. So I'm going to demonstrate first the form, how we use it. I'm going to show it on pads, and then of course we're going to do an application. The first way to distinguish it from a boxer's hook, though, is to note the elbow positioning and the angle of attack. In most boxers' hooks, you'll see the punch, say from a jab, come one, here, where we'll turn our body. You're going to see pivot with the ball on the ball of the foot, rotation of the hips and shoulders, and you're going to see this kind of motion. Instead of being a looping thing, which a lot of people think the hook punch is supposed to be, you're going to see a lot more of a calculated turn of the waist, hitting with the flat part of the hand. So here, one, right, and of course it can be extended or it can be brought in closer. The difference with a Kung Fu hook is not so much in the surface area. Sometimes you'll be able to hit with the flat of the knuckles the same way. Sometimes, and I prefer to keep the thumb on top, and this gives me additional striking surface. I could keep the thumb on the bottom, but as we're going to have a lot of fist strikes to use this part, it might damage my thumb. So by keeping it here, and again, some people think this could be damaging, we're going to be able to strike with a lot of force, plus it gives you an additional surface for pinpoint striking. So I have the knuckle here, I have the fist, the knuckle over here, and that's going to create a whole other surface. So when it comes to our Kung Fu hooks, we have pretty much two ways that in our Choy Lay Fut style we do them. One way, I like to think of it as more defensive, where we're going to use a technique like bean or gua, whipping strike or rising fist, to precede the hook punch. So I might come with a situation like here, and around. The other way I might do it, and again I think this way is more defensive. The other way I prefer, because I can use it with the lead leg forward, on my right leg, my power side, or I can use it well with my opposite side. So if I do find myself in a position where I need to step back, or I switch my stance where my power hand is forward, I still have a very, very aggressive weapon. So here's a great way to do it. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to use the combination, the opposite theory of force, I'm going to use with my opposite hand blocking. And I'll use a Pak style slapping block. So I'm going to come from here, and in. So one hand is going to come push this way, one hand, bang. You'll see in a minute when we do the application that one hand is going to be used to block and one hand will strike. Another way I said we find ourselves with the lead foot forward is we can come here. And that foot stomping forward is going to help to build momentum and to ground us and give us more power. So I can be here and in. Now let's use the pads. See how it would work as a boxer. I'll work off my lead hand jab from here, and I'll work my right hook inside. So I'll be my punch is straight out, my left hook, my left hand's going to draw back in, my right hook is going to use mostly the rotation of the hips. It's a little bit of a pop at the very end, but it's not this. And swinging wildly with no connection to the body. So my boxer's hook again, one, and nice and short. Notice, now we'll demonstrate the two ways that we throw the hook punch in Choy Lay Fut. Now, when it comes to the hook, we talked about two of them. One being, I think, a little more defensive, and it's going to have either bean or gua in front of it. So the way we'll practice this is Mr. Reilly throws the lead hand jab. I'm going to come out here, use this hand initially to deflect or to block whatever comes close. I'm going to step out of it and then work this hook right here. So the technique will be here, 1, 2, 1, 2, or 1. Good. The other way that we'll work the hook is from here. Lead hand jab comes in, I'm going to block out this way. Now I'm going to come over the top a little bit, so it's going to come, now I have the opportunity to come a little higher, or I can come level. Both of them are still hooks. We'll also have a hook that comes this way, which we'll cover at a later time. This hook's going to come around. So either if you have the jab and cross, 1, 2, I could use it here, but for the sake of the drill, we'll just use one attack. He comes with the lead hand here, bang, and this is where the punch is going to come. So to work the drill with pads, one person lead hand jab, 1 and 2, and in, 1, 2, 1, and in. Good. Now, the other way that I kind of favor it is I like to do a lot of things switching stances. I like to fight from an orthodox stance and from an unorthodox stance. It'll give me a different skill set of techniques to use and it can throw your opponent off a bit. So, with the lead hand, the same thing happens. I'm going to come and work this block here, but at the same time, I'm going to come this way towards the head. So to work it as a pad drill, and let's switch feet. No, great. Okay. Actually, let's switch them back. Even better. So the lead hand comes out, 1 and 2. And then 1, 1, 1, and then good. And now the applications. Initially, with the hook that I said was a little more defensive. I'm going to show you 2 ways to use it. So from here, Mr. Reilly throws a lead hand jab here. I fade back a bit to make sure I've got some room. I don't always want to be, when that jab comes, I don't want to be right in front of it. So the jab comes out, and I'm here, I'm going to be able to bring this down. A lot of people tell you they're going to go like this, grab the hand. It looks, you know, fun and you see it in movies. It's not very realistic. It's hard to do. So from here, bang, and right out. So that punch will come, stop, and right here, and right there. Good. Another way we'll work it is from a more offensive situation. Even though the same technique as before, I said more defensive. Here's how we can use it. So from this position, we can use that initial gua. Or the other way, I would certainly like to use beam more. I like to whip out. With gua, I like to use it as a way to cover. And since it comes up at this angle a bit, I can use it to pin and trap my hands of my opponent. So from here, I'm going to come out this way with it and bang, and make that opening right here. So use it here, and right in. Again. Right now let's work the shorter version. From the orthodox stance, from here, the lead hand jab comes out. I want to move it this way and come back in. So for this purpose, let's work it as a jab cross combination, a good drill to do in class. So you work 2 pox outs, 2 parries. They'll come 1, 2. On the second one, here's where I want the action to take place. So to get power for this, as much force as I push this way, I don't want to just cover and then throw this and be disconnected as far as power goes. I want to learn to go from here, same time. Now, if I throw this hook this way, I'm going to catch myself. So I want to make sure that when I make contact here, there's a little bit of pressure, a little bit of hooking and controlling, and sticking to my opponent this way. So lead hand jab comes 1, 2, bang, and right there. 1, 2, 1, 2, and right there. Good. The other way is to use lead hand forward. Now I like this way, not so much off the jab, because since I'm in that southpaw stance, I kind of don't know what to do with this hand. So I like it when the rear hand comes, it'll give me the opening, and give me the chance to use a little bit of head motion, head movement, and bring my angle to the side. So to do this, I'm going to come here, punch, I'm going to step here, not straight towards him, but a little bit of an angle. And we're going to utilize in Choy Lay Fut, Chat Sing Bow, or the 7-star stepping. And basically it's diagonal points. So I want to come here. I want to be able to turn. That rear hand comes in. From here, I step, boom. By me stepping, clearing this hand, now I have the full area open here. So I'm not worried about this hand catching my own hand with a block. So I want to be here, boom, and in, boom, move back. When I do this, I want to use this step, as if, what's the arm up? As if I was going to check him with my shoulder, with my body, same kind of force. Real stable stance, bang, right here. I want to use that with the punch, so when he comes in a punch, and right there. I'm not going and leaving both feet off the ground. I'm going to drag the rear foot so I can maintain a good root, good power. Now when that punch comes, and right in. Good. I hope most of you enjoyed our hook punch presentation today. Enjoy your training. Mr. Parrella, Sifu Parrella from Master Parrella's Kung Fu Centers. We'll see you next class.